This is the FNATIC STREAK65 LP keyboard, and man, is it beautiful. I could use this thing without any RGB on this board and still completely love the aesthetics of it. It just looks so freaking good. But the RGB here is just on another level compared to most boards that I've tried, and especially with the white backplate, it just really shines through bright and reflects so well. It looks incredible. So as a former competitive gamer, there's a lot of things that really speak to me on this board, and we're gonna go over some points that I think make this board really good for LAN tournaments and competitive play in general. Now, the first thing that I really love is there's no software required for this board. There is a lot of customization built into the board, and it does have onboard memory, so you don't need to install software at all if you don't want to, but they do have software, so if you want to go in there and dial it in exactly how you want to, and then either uninstall the software or just set it to not run in the background, you can totally do that. The board comes with a USB Type-C coiled cable, and it's nothing to write home about. It's gotten pretty dirty being a white cable over time, and I swapped it out a long time ago for something else, but it's nice that at least they include this at this price point. The switches here are Keycaps V2 low profile switches. They have 1mm of pre-travel, they're linear, and the tensioning on the keystroke is light, but it's not too light to have accidental inputs all the time, so I really like that. I've had several boards with linear switches and I just get accidental inputs all the time while trying to type something up. You know, during gaming it's not really a big deal, but the tension on these is just right to where I can game with it and have really fast response times, and then go over and type something up and have no accidental inputs, so I love that about these switches. The keycaps are fantastic on this board. They're thick double shot PBT, and I haven't had too much wobble on top with these keycaps. The stabilizers on this board come pre-lubed out of the factory, and overall it makes for a fantastic gaming and typing experience on this board. I love it. They also have some macro inputs on the right side of the board, which is really nice to see in a 65%, and I like how uniform and clean this design looks with having those 4 additional switches and the arrows at the bottom right. Everything just looks very uniform to me and clean, and I totally dig it. Another thing I really love about this board is it has a really low typing angle, which is extremely comfortable for people like me that don't want to use wrist rests, so I don't have to use anything while gaming or typing, and it feels very natural and very comfortable for me. I've never had my wrist feel like it was injured or hurting on this board, and it doesn't slide around on your desk either. The feet do a pretty good job here, so it's really nice. But if you do want to raise it up, of course they have feet on the bottom, and you can raise it up by 10 degrees if that's your preference. Another really cool feature about this board is it has a mode called competitive mode, and basically you just hit function and C, and it's going to turn the RGB way down to a low orange color so you can focus on your game and not be distracted by the RGB coming off this keyboard. And it also locks the window key, and I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the boards I've been distracted with in the past with some of the RGB being so crazy and in your face, so I love that they have this feature on this board, and I love using it when I'm trying to play competitively, especially if I want to like dim the lights in my room and I don't want my RGB to be like too overwhelming. Hit function and C, and it takes care of that problem right away. Also, you can lock the function inputs on this board by hitting function and enter, and when you do that, you can't change the volume of anything, you can't accidentally mute, you can't hit anything like F5 through F10 and all that stuff on accident. It's all just kind of locked in and specifically set up for competitive gaming. So the competitive mode and the function lock mode, I think those settings make this a really high-end competitive LAN tournament keyboard, but it's also very lightweight. It only weighs around 420 grams with an all aluminum construction. It's light, but it's strong and it's durable. It feels really solid, but it's also really portable. It's really thin profile. It's super easy to put in your backpack or just to carry it around with you. So I've had this board for 6 months, and at one point I actually spilled Gatorade all over the entire thing, soaking it, but I dried it off, and for this video I did wipe everything off and kind of clean it up a little bit. But as you can see, the RGB still looks great. The PBT keycaps still look brand new. Like, the board itself looks completely brand new, and the board still sounds fantastic. So I'll go ahead and give you a little sound test real quick so you can see how it sounds. And the only thing I noticed with the sound test is there's a little bit of pinging that you can hear, but I don't hear this in real life, so I'm kind of surprised that the microphone picks that up. But let's go ahead and have a listen real quick. So overall, I think this keyboard has a lot to offer to the competitive player, especially one who goes to LAN tournaments and professional players. The performance is excellent. I can't recommend this board enough, and like the best thing about it is it's $120, so you don't have to go breaking the bank to get a really good, reliable gaming keyboard and one that doesn't sound like crap, you know, with terrible stabilizers and everything. So that's all I've got for this one, guys. If you have any questions about this board, drop me a comment down below and I'll try to get to it when I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.